Well, look what we started. We picked the scab and just watched the blood flow in what is amounting to a death match for the very soul of the Republican Party. Very few people have worked you up or jazzed you to the degree that Chris Christie has, and I don't know what it is. What is it?
He touches people. He connects. This guy can get it done. And let me tell you something. What Washington needs now is one strong leader.
Chris is a promising figure. I don't agree with him on a lot of things. I'm more conservative than he is. I wasn't a fan of the way he welcomed Barack Obama to New Jersey when the hurricane hit.
All right, seems not everyone is in love with the Gov. Get ready for the rumble on the right. And we have seen it up close and personal, and will again tonight. Welcome, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto. And to say this is not that Democrats don't have their differences, they certainly do. Not all in that party are in love with their present poll leader, Hillary Clinton, and that is an understatement. But let's just say many more are focused on Republicans, and not all of them jazzed by their present poll leader, and that is an even bigger understatement. But if there is one thing that came into focus very sharply for me this week, it is the battle between those supporting New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, for good or ill, and pretty much anybody else this week. Tea Partiers call him a sellout. Mainstreamers call him their saint. Either way, it is amounting to a holy war, and one that might not be settled by the time the 2016 election comes around. But given all the intra-party challenges already lining up against Republican incumbents next year, I'm not sure it's going to be resolved anytime soon. Tonight, we sure plan to get to the bottom of it with two towering figures in the Republican Party. Former Massachusetts Senator Scott Brown, former Republican Congressman Allen West. We are departing from our usual form here to go long here and get to the real wound under this Republican scab here. So we rip, you decide. Gentlemen, welcome. So, Scott, to you first. The Tea Party takes credit for you. Many others feel slighted and forgotten now by a party that doesn't appreciate all it did for the party. Should they?
Well, first of all, the Tea Party certainly played a role in my election, but so did about 1,400,000 other people. There is a role for the Tea Party and every other member of our party, because if we're not going to be a more inclusive big idea party in which we take those big ideas and bring them to the American people and tell them that we can do it better than the group that is in there right now, we're never going to win. So we need to unite. We need to come together. We need to get in a room, grab a pizza and a beer and work it out, and then go forth and let the American people know why they should vote for us, and come forth with a great plan as to how to solve all our country's problems.
Well, they say very nicely, Alan, that the way to do it is not to fall in love with Chris Christie.
Well, I think the thing...
Listen, Neil,
Go ahead, finish
sorry,
that point,
Neil,
Scott.
with all due respect, he won by 22 points in a blue state. He created 150,000 jobs. He's taken on the unions. He's balanced the budget. He gave
Scott,
the president a hug.
Mitt Romney won big in your state. He became governor in your state. That doesn't mean
no.
anything.
He barely won in our state.
All right, but still, he won the bluest of blue states, right? I mean, so there's...
I would argue that New Jersey's a little bit bluer.
Okay, Alan?
I think the most important thing is not so much to be focused on the person, but really the principles and the ideas that are going to get this country back on the right track.
What do you think the principle and ideas of Chris Christie, then? Because he's saying, to Scott's point, that I can win in blue states, that I have a track record of winning with constituents that aren't typical Republicans. I'm your guy. I'm your way to victory.
Yeah, but right now that might be the right thing. But let's talk about some of the other critical issues. When we look at the foreign policy that is falling apart all across this country, we need to know that we have someone that understands that foreign policy. The most important...
So you don't think Christie does?
Well, we don't know yet. And, you know, being the governor of New Jersey or being a governor of the United States of America, that's good that you can do things to be successful as that governor. But now you're talking about taking it to another level when you're the, president of the United States of America. The leader of the free world. It's not that I like
Tea Party and you hate him.
No, I don't say that I hate him. And I know you're trying to do that Italian thing of getting me all stoked.
Don't you get all nasty on me.
I'm not getting nasty.
I will take you out, or I'll have someone else take you out.
Well, you probably could. But really, the thing that we have to look at, you know, what is the stance on foreign policy? What is the stance on national security if you want to be commander-in-chief? This country and the United States of America is going to be in a terrible situation after the, you know, subsequent 3 years of Barack Obama to deal with Iran, the destabilization of the Middle East, the problems we see with China. So it is good things that you can do in your state, but now you have to take that to another level.
You know, Senator, the argument for the Chris Christie's is that, look, I have the track. I can win. I can win. We got to win again. We got to win over these constituencies again. The argument I hear from a lot of Tea Parties is that this is the guy to which we hitch our wagon, hitch us up to a different wagon, even if that means a Democratic wagon. Is that going too far?
Absolutely going too far. They can have 8 more years of what they have already, which is us versus them, have versus have-nots, a complete dysfunctional
actually, Scott,
Congress and administration.
I had a Tea Party in here. They said he's no different than Barack Obama.
Well, listen, I'm going to paraphrase President Reagan and say, well, do you want somebody who's your 60, 70, 80% friend or your 100% enemy? We need to come together as a party and actually move forward and take over the White House and show the American people that we can get our budgets balanced. We can deal with foreign policy. And with all due respect to the congressman, every person who's considering running needs to be fully vetted. It is a little early, but I tell you what, I know Chris Christie. I know he's a decent, honest, hardworking man who's taken the challenges in a blue state and had two victories. That's a lot
Scott,
more than a lot of the other people.
Does that mean you don't feel the same way about the Ted Cruzes, the Rand Pauls, some of the other lightning rounds?
Listen, I know Rand and I don't know Ted, but they're good people and they serve a role, and they need to be included too. There needs to be.
But do you like their strategy of shaking up things in the China shop, even closing the China shop now and then?
Listen, I was shaking things up 4 years ago, long before they got there. We'll continue to shake it up. There's nothing wrong with shaking it up. There's room for everybody, different strokes for different folks. And whether that carries forth and the American people say, hey, we want someone who can shake it up. We don't care that they solve problems, but we like people that can shake it up. That's up to the people to decide, and they'll let us know pretty soon.
All right. Now, who is the core, Alan, do you think, of the party right now? Who represents the real oomph of the party?
You know, I don't think that we're positive about a single individual that represents the core of the party.
Well, a lot of them like you. A lot of them said you should run.
Well, I mean, I run every morning about 5 or 6 miles.
Do you really? I drive that. But,
well, I'll run next to your car.
Drive next to you as you go by.
All right.
But who does speak to that? Is that core very passionate base? Because you don't see the same with Christie. Maybe you will.
I think that's the important thing. And I really believe that what we have to look for is someone that does have executive leadership experience. That's a governor. And that's a governor. Now, there are many different governors out there, but I think that that's going to be a starting point.
Christie's not that governor, though,
I don't know if Christie is that governor.
I think you're blocking.
I'm not blocking. I'm on the offense. I'm coming right at you. Right. But I think that someone that can articulate the opportunity society and move us away from a dependency society. One thing I would say about Chris Christie, he went into the black community and talked about the #1 issue for the black community, that's school choice. And if we had more people on our side, Rand Paul is doing it, talking about some economic solutions in Detroit. But that's how you have to do it. It's not about outreach, it's about inclusiveness.
I don't know what you know about the black community. I think I'm a bigger expert on that.
Yes, you are.
Guys, thank you both very, very much. It's an honor having both of you.
Thanks.